It's time to feel the rage. I was so far off on that. That's like the worst timing ever.
It's the best. What are you
What are you doing? We were perfect.
It's
perfect. Do it.
No, that's perfect.
You started ad-libbing shit.
All right, start it again, but this is all staying in the final cut.
You do that then. All right then.
It's time to feel the rage. Well, now it came in late. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And the Merman, who all of a sudden thinks that this is like a professional podcast and we should be like doing stuff like just perfectly. That's not how we roll, Merman. Whatever comes out, comes out.
That's right.
Apparently.
We're unedited, baby.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Oh, thanks to all been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or, even better, support us and join the Film Rage community by joining a membership at buymeacoffee.com/filmrageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And we'll watch it if it played anywhere in a world, in a cinema, and it's not a children's film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get to raging. Oh, man.
Yes.
What the amazing Murman predict? What the amazing Murman predict? Will he predict the rage or will he predict the Mondo? He's gonna tell us all what Bryce and Jim thought of the movies they saw this week. Here he comes swimming to you.
I really hate that. All right. Well, you guys apparently saw 3 movies.
Murman predicts.
I did not.
You saw 2.
No, I saw 1.
You bought tickets and went to 2.
I bought tickets and I saw 1.
I don't understand.
You will later on. Believe
All right.
me, you will hear about it later on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. 'Cause I
So,
don't understand why someone
in
would buy a
this
ticket and
particular
not watch the
order,
movie.
because this is the order on the lineup here. The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Magical.
It
Yes.
seems offensive to me, but apparently it's a comedy. So,
Okay.
it looked like a comedy according to the trailer.
There we go.
Looked like
Let's
it
go
was
with
kind of, trying not to step on toes here. I want to say African American Harry Potter. That's
yeah.
what it kind of looked like it would be to me.
See, everybody says that, and I never got that watching any of the trailers.
That's what I got from the trailer.
I didn't get that at all, but
Except-
apparently that's the consensus. That's what people expected.
The
Apparently-
black people have apparently the magical powers to help the white people to be better,
Yeah.
which is what I get from the.
Sounds like Harry Potter to me.
How is that Harry Potter?
Based on the
powers.
premise of
Oh,
this
magic.
and just the trailer,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a stab and say you guys hated it. I'm
Wow.
gonna say double rage.
Okay.
Wow. Were you not listening how excited Jim was to be going to this movie?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I
was
love
stoked.
me. I love me.
Magical Negro.
Magical Negroes.
Next up, we
I'll
have
save it for later.
One Life,
One Life.
which I almost saw.
Okay.
Again, more on that later.
Okay.
So that was supposed to have Anthony Hopkins in it.
It has a lot of Anthony Hopkins
Not the
in
20 minutes that I saw had no Anthony Hopkins in it.
it. Well, then.
So that's
You
maybe
just
why I
waited.
left.
Just needed to wait for 2 more minutes.
Apparently, I don't know.
Because
All
I would say pretty equal
all I
screen
saw
time.
was his younger version
Mhm.
with Helena Bonham Carter as his mother.
Mommy.
Mommy.
Which just proves she's officially gotten old.
Okay.
We all get there.
Yeah.
Based on the
She's still
subject
awesome.
matter and the fact historical drama type stuff,
Okay.
I'm gonna go double Mondo on this.
Double
Okay.
Mondo.
All right.
Hmm.
He didn't obviously look that it was a biopic.
Finally, well, yeah, because now on YouTube I have like 10 different videos all about the real guy.
Oh,
Yes.
There you go.
Because I watched the trailer for the movie.
Yes,
They
that's
figured
what
out-
happens.
They figured I'm interested.
You
in
must
all
have seen
the other
that
stuff.
silly thing before, though, before this
To be honest,
movie.
I didn't know it was a real guy until
Oh.
I read about it.
Surprise.
Anyway, finally we all went to see Hey Viktor.
Hey,
which
Victor.
I already saw like half of because it was at SIF.
But now you've seen all
All of
of
it.
I have seen all of it. I sat through all of it with you two.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard Bryce laughing, so I know he didn't absolutely hate it,
Okay.
but it also had some parts he probably didn't like, much like me.
Oh,
Okay.
what?
So
Wait,
let's-
are you saying that you and Bryce kind of might agree
I don't
on
know
something?
about that.
Happens more than people like to admit.
So yeah, let's double mad that one.
I
All
like
right.
to admit it all the time. Me and Murray, we're simpatico. He just
No,
doesn't want to
we're really
admit it
not.
for some
No,
reason.
we're
See,
really
what
not.
is that? I don't understand. All we do is agree.
No,
And
we
he's
really
like,
don't.
oh, no, we never
we
agree.
really
But we
don't.
always agree.
We know we don't
But
know.
you're not-
We basically share one mind.
No,
You're literally not agreeing right now.
we have we're at two opposite ends, and once in a blue moon we actually meet in the middle somewhere. But that don't happen very often.
Ah,
I would disagree.
I don't. I would disagree too.
Anyway, so there you go. Whatever.
I'm sorry. What did we give him?
Double mad.
Double math.
All right.
So we were. Sorry, it was rage, Mondo, meh. You're
Yeah,
like saying we
that's
agree
right.
completely
That's
through this
right.
whole thing. Oh, yeah.
We may agree completely, but
Maybe.
whether those are the ratings, that's to be heard. So, we're going
Yes.
to talk about some magical
Oh.
Negroes.
Right. I'm up. All right. So the the American Society of Magical Negroes is the story of.
Do you think they have a Canadian chapter, by the way?
I don't think it actually exists. This wasn't like a biopic, not like the other movie we watched.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're
So.
both kind of biopics.
Mm,
The other two, both kind of biopics.
yes. So, as I was saying, it's the story of Aaron, who is recruited by a secret society that exists solely to make white folks more comfortable and, I guess, feel good about themselves. Eh?
Sounds like a pretty good magical adventure.
The premise could have resulted in something that could have been biting satire, but in the hands of director and writer Kobe Libby, all the potential got muddled into a hodgepodge of toothless, bland scenes that go nowhere. The cast are victims of this extreme nothingness. This script was just so bland. I can't even it was just nothing. Like nothing happened. It was just bad. There's a speech at the end
Yes.
that Aaron delivers
Yes.
about being a black man in America
Justice Smith.
that in another movie could have been powerful. It could have been a powerful exclamation point if there was some sort of provocative story told. But in this movie, it was too little, too late. This movie was a directionless rom-com mess. It was far, far from magical. It was a rage.
Bing, 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 bing.
Whoa, there's bings going off, baby. So, first off, everyone needs to realize one of my favorite genres, for those of you who don't know, is fantasy films. So when I heard there was a film possibly about magical Negroes, I could not be more excited. So, of course, leading up to seeing this movie in cinema, I kept telling Bryce that this was not a rom-com.
And I
Because
kept on
it was,
telling you
it was actually.
It turned into one from the trailer, from what I can see.
It's totally a rom-com.
So what I thought was that it was actually going to be Black Harry Potter film, which is
I don't
apparently
understand how
also-
anybody could have watched
What?
the trailer and thought that.
Because
I
they
thought-
take him, they pull him into a society.
That's what
and-
I thought
and then
until the girl showed up.
I
and
thought
then
they
like,
were going to do a
Yeah,
bait
but the
and
girl
switch.
shows up in the trailer.
Yeah, but halfway
Yeah.
through the trailer.
But
Oh.
At first, it's just him and what's his name?
Anyways,
Yeah.
go
David
on.
Allen Greer.
Yeah, who's awesome.
Then
by
I
the
thought
way.
it was a Harry Potter thing.
Yeah.
And then the girl shows
That's
up.
totally what I thought. And that's what a lot of people apparently on IMDb also thought.
Yeah, I don't.
I think-
Apparently, everybody on IMDb and you are had such high expectations of what this should have been.
Yeah, so I thought they were just going to do a bait and switch with the trailer.
Yeah.
That it hinted it was going to be a rom-com,
Okay, yeah,
but
right.
that we would get Harry Potter meets Men in Black. That's what I thought we were going to get.
Right. Yeah.
It even has a direct descendant
Yeah.
of the original Men in Black.
Yeah. It's just that did not happen.
So I hate to admit this because I normally don't like admitting this, but Bryce was absolutely right. This was a rom-com.
Oh.
And it was
Rom-com.
It was probably the worst rom-com that I've seen. It was not only completely unrealistic and convenient. This, as Bryce has already kind of alluded to, this movie was so completely boring. I was lying on my side because we had the theater to ourselves, as usual. And I'm lying there, I'm going, Bryce, did I fall asleep? And he's like, no, it's just still boring. And I must have asked him that like 10 times. But I think I might have fallen asleep once.
If you did, you didn't miss anything.
Well, that's what you said, because I was like, I've never heard dialogue and story that is so fucking boring in my life.
Yeah.
It was just like it went absolutely nowhere, and then all of a sudden, there's like, it like just starts changing him, and then like you think it's going in one direction, but it's not like a cleverly written where you think it's going in one direction. Oh wow, no, it went this direction. It was just like
It was no Dungeons and Dragons.
it was no Dungeons and Dragons, that's for sure. And we all thought that was pretty good. Because he was in it.
Yeah.
He was.
Justice Smith.
I remember.
Yeah.
He's the best of all the
He
Smiths.
was the black dude from that movie.
You know what? He was fine here too. He just had nothing to work with, as the whole cast. They just had nothing to work with.
Yeah,
when you
there
can,
was good
when
cast in
you
this.
can maybe make Michaela Watkins bland, she's a frickin' spitfire in every single movie.
Yep.
She's like steals scenes in every movie she's in. She's fantastic in every movie she's in. If you can take her and water her down to this point, you're not only a terrible writer, but a terrible director.
Is that the really big woman who was in charge?
No.
Oh, who was that?
That's what's her name from
I recognize. I don't know who she is.
she's from that TV show.
She was the
where
head
they
of,
eat food
head of
thing.
it, whoever head of society,
Yeah.
whoever it was. But
She was awesome too, actually. But yeah, this was a rage. It was awful.
It was
I don't even
awful.
want to give it.
shocker.
I don't even really want to give it too much more discussion, other than
Well-
I completely agree with what you said. Justice has this scene near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And it comes out kind of out of nowhere because his character, it's like all of a sudden his character grew a pair.
Yep.
And there was nothing that built him up to be able to have grown that pair.
And think about Justice Smith's character, okay? This writing was so bad. We literally know nothing about him. We don't know. It kind of came up once that he had a white mom.
Yeah.
That was it. That's
Yes.
all we know about him.
So the only thing
That's
that they
the
developed
only
in him-
thing we know about him.
Yeah, we don't even know how
we don't
he
know.
could afford.
We don't know if he's got a brother or a sister. We don't know if
We
he's
don't
an
know
only
how he
child.
can afford
We don't know how he
$3,000 worth of yarn.
Yeah, exactly. We
and
don't
then
know
had
anything.
an apartment. Like he didn't have it. He just all of a sudden, yeah, okay.
There's like no character development into this.
Zero.
You just throw it at and I'm just supposed to buy into everything. And why do I care about this kid when I don't know anything about him? Nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
This is just terrible.
Well, that's
terrible
with
writing.
with every character in it. All the characters were bad.
This, by the way, this whole thing. I don't know if you knew this, but this whole concept of the magical Negro
Yes.
was actually coined by Mr. Spike Lee, referring to all the television
Yes,
and the
yes,
movies
yes.
over the past
Yeah, yeah.
that have that guy,
Yeah.
like that they're in the movie just to make the white
just to
guy
look good.
just-
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So I mean, but that could have been. Why didn't they get Spike Lee to do it?
Maybe he
Well, I
should
It
don't-
would have been a really good movie.
I think Spike Lee must be going, oh man, why?
You destroyed my
Why did you
idea.
screw this up?
And it wasn't his idea. It was just something that he was lambasting, Hollywood for doing that for
And rightly
decades,
so.
the whole 20th century, basically.
So yeah, this movie's awful. I highly suggest no one sees it.
Yeah.
Here's a few spoilers. They fall in love, and then the whole society of magical Negroes happens to change their whole beliefs and stance on things just because of Justice
Well,
Smith.
from what I can tell from the trailer is the white guy that he's assigned to help,
Yes.
he interferes with him falling in love with the girl. He takes the girl for himself, which is what pisses off his boss.
No, not really. No.
That's what the trailer
Yeah,
said.
but it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But just once again, though, the cast they just deserved better.
Yeah.
I mean, David Alan Grier, there's another character that, like, I don't know why
hilarious
he's hilarious. And at the beginning, I'm like, okay, maybe this can go somewhere. But nothing happens with him. And I don't know what he's doing at the end. Like, the way he reacts to things just doesn't make sense to me. Like, he's just not reacting. You know, and Annalee Bogan as Lizzie, I mean, she was fine.
Yeah, she was great.
good. She was good. They just had nothing to work with.
Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah, and just like you're saying the word nothing, let's say absolutely nothing more about this film.
All right.
So the other film we saw that Murray saw some of, 20 minutes of, and I still have to apologize to him because I was typing where I was sitting in the theater.
Me. I couldn't find him.
Yeah, it was the biggest theater in one of the, and it's like really hard to find people in there
because there's no lighting in it.
Yeah.
How many people were there?
There was at least
30 or
25,
40.
30.
Oh, okay. So you couldn't have gone, Jim!
No.
Yeah, you probably.
There was only one person in there. I would have found him, but no,
Yeah.
there was too many people, and I got in there 10 minutes before it started.
And this may be a hint as to what my rage is,
Mine too.
but I wasn't sitting in the seat that I was that I had paid for.
Had been assigned. Yes.
Yeah, so
You were assigned a seat?
you know, because I bought it, I
Why
bought
do you
the
assign
seat
to
that
a-
I was assigned to.
Right.
That
He
the
moved.
Yeah.
that the computer told me, you want to sit here, and I said,
Yeah, that's where I want to sit.
That's where I want to sit.
And then you got there and someone was in
No,
your seat.
what? No. There's
Oh,
more.
there was more.
It's
People around him.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in this story of a man with Jewish heritage who is now agnostic, who saved 669 Czech Jews in the beginning of World War II, this is a biopic. And if you like looking at pictures of kids and stamping said pictures with stamps by government officials and people getting in and off trains, plus people standing in lines and posing for staged shots to get an emotional effect, then you will absolutely love this film. Me, on the other hand, I found it one of those biopics that tells an important story, but probably could have been a BBC 60-minute History Channel show instead.
It probably was.
Maybe. I like the story it was trying to tell, and I love hearing about caring heroes who save lives. But this was not a great movie. I found, for the most part, it was pretty boring. However, it did save itself a little bit because the scene that made me cry from the trailer also made me cry in the movie. Wait.
Yes.
Does that make the trailer a meh, or does it make the film a meh? Because you know my rule: if I cry, it's got to be a meh.
No,
least
if you
a meh.
if you cry, it's got to be, I guess, at least
At
a meh.
least a meh.
But
So it did the job. It made me cry, but I did not think the movie was great. So I'm torn because I cried in the trailer.
yes,
So is the trailer a meh, or is the film a meh?
the trailer's a Mondo and the film's a meh.
That's okay. That's
There you
it.
go.
It was a meh.
That would explain why I got you guys were going to Mondo it, because I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
Yes.
The trailer.
And 15 minutes of
And-
it that had no Anthony
And the
Hopkins.
trailer
I
was Mondo.
I never watched the trailer.
Thanks for walking me through that, by the way. That
No
really
problem.
helped because I was really torn. Because if I didn't cry, this would have been a rage. But
Yeah.
because I cried, I couldn't pass up the meh.
I can't disagree with anything you're saying there. Honestly, the stuff with Anthony Hopkins I found was pretty effective
Yeah.
the whole way through, and the stuff with young Anthony Hopkins, Johnny Flynn as Nicholas Winton, was not as compelling, and it should have been. And I don't know why they couldn't make that situation more, because it was such a tense, urgent,
There's no
intense,
urgent,
and
intense. Yeah.
but somehow they didn't.
No, it was just like, didn't you find it was mostly, okay, let's stamp some more pictures of kids.
Yeah, it was
kind of like when you listen to a podcast that's a true crime podcast, and then they list every single person that was murdered in this particular situation, and you're like, yeah, I know you kind of want to give them props, but can't you just put that in your show notes? Like, they didn't really need to show us 669
No,
kids and get their pictures stamped.
Yeah,
It was,
well, and
it
I
felt like it.
and the last train that never got to leave, I that should have been more heart wrenching
Powerful.
to
Yes,
me,
it
you know.
wasn't- yeah.
And it wasn't. But as you say, the entire film is saved with the Anthony Hopkins and the TV
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
That right there it's like that's compelling stuff. And that is basically why this whole movie got made, is because of that.
Yes.
And that's where we're going towards the whole way. But it's almost too little too late once they get there, because they really should have done a better job leading up to that. And once again, the Anthony Hopkins stuff, when they're in his time, it's good. It's all good.
Everything he's doing is good.
And it fits, and it's good. They dropped the ball on the historical stuff. Yeah. And I don't know why it didn't work, but it didn't.
It didn't.
It was flat.
To your point, there was no intensity to it. It was more factual, kind of.
You know,
even when they went and saw
they seemed to like focus on the wrong things, in my opinion, and it was just like, even there were some scenes in there that were good, and they needed to be there, but there needed to be more to that part of the story, and because of that, once again, the ending. I mean, you can't deny that it's whoever you are, it's going to affect you. It's absolutely going to affect you. So you can't rage, obviously, about this, but because the buildup wasn't what it should have been, it can't be a Mondo either. No. So it's a meh. And I feel badly, because it's such a great story. Yeah. And I think that there was somebody else could have maybe made this better. And you hate to say that, but...
Maybe they should.
But that's what the truth is.
But the thing is, they did all this stuff in his time, like in the present. Well, the present.
You keep saying it like it's a separate movie.
It was like a separate movie, because it was really done well. It was all done well. Yeah. And it wasn't just because of Hopkins.
But it wasn't just that. It was the whole movie.
Maybe they should have casted better young Anthony Hopkins.
No, the acting was fine.
He was fine. It was just. It just
didn't. And Helena Bonham Carter was fantastic.
Fantastic. Lena Olin. Well, that was
20 minutes I watched. The guy, I didn't like the guy at all.
Oh, the character.
Oh, Johnny Flynn is Nicholas Winton.
Didn't like him at all.
At any rate, still worth watching.
It's a heart-wrenching, important historical.
To your point, I would seek out documentaries or real footage instead.
Absolutely.
And just have the Kleenex nearby when you get about an hour and a half in.
Yeah. Just have it ready. Yeah. Maybe 2 boxes, because it's a good scene.
2 boxes if you're Jim. Yeah. I just need 1 piece.
Just 1 piece.
I'm full of fluids, you know.
Because his heart is 3 sizes too small.
That's right. All right. Now the most exciting moment of our night.
Yeah.
What is it now?
Was it? What? Huh?
Hey Viktor.
Hey Viktor.
Hey Viktor.
I tell you, am I doing this?
Yeah, it's you.
All right. Hey Viktor follows the exploits of Cody Lightning, who played Viktor in the movie Smoke Signals 25 years ago. This mockumentary finds Cody teaching drama in a gymnasium as he takes whatever acting gig he can get, which can sometimes be a little pain in the ass. And I mean that literally, yes. By chance.
More on that later.
By chance, Cody meets crazy pawn shop owner who is a big fan of Viktor from Smoke Signals, and based on his love of that film, gives Cody $100,000 to make a sequel to Smoke Signals. Basically, that's going on here. From there, you can imagine Cody runs into a couple of snags, some personal, some legal, some just pure stupidity. The movie is very funny at the beginning, and the laughs do keep coming, albeit farther and farther apart as the film approaches its sort of lackluster conclusion. Still, I laughed a lot, and I had a good time, so Hey Viktor was an enjoyable man.
All right. Did you... Wait, you predicted that, didn't you?
I did. Like I said, I heard him laughing, so I know he didn't hate it.
You are the amazing merman.
If he didn't laugh at all, it would have been a rage.
There was some funny stuff in this movie.
There was some funny stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, there was quite a bit of funny stuff,
really
actually.
Awful stuff.
Okay, well, let me tell you what I thought of Hey Viktor.
Hey Viktor.
Hey Viktor, or as the title should be for copyright reasons, Hey Dictor.
Dictor, yes.
As Bryce has already mentioned, is a mockumentary about Cody Lightning, who has been reliving his 5 minutes of fame as a child actor, where he played Viktor from the indigenous film Smoke Signals, which is they say it in the movie that it's the very first ever indigenous.
Yeah, written, directed, crew, cast.
Everything.
I mean, they even had a review from Roger Ebert.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine down in the States who doesn't even go to movies knew about smoke signals.
Well, everybody knows about smoke signals.
I still haven't watched it. But
What?
Never saw it.
What?
This is your heritage, Murray.
And you call yourself a Canadian.
You can't unwas yourself.
Yeah,
you were born.
I was myself like 30 years ago.
Okay, well,
pretty much when my dad left me. So there you go.
Well, there you go. So he's a complete idiot and asshole with everyone in his life and has destroyed every relationship he had ever had.
Yes.
And he finally gets a chance to do the sequel to Smoke Signals.
Nice.
But no one will help him because he pissed everybody of them off for like 20 years consistently.
Yep.
The comedy is vulgar and Cody Lightning appears to like being naked throughout the entire film, which
naked a lot.
Which also makes this very funny. There's the whitest person on the planet that is his manager who thinks she's 50% indigenous. And eventually, in a pinnacle moment in the film, she finds out not only is she 100% white, she is also related to the OG of colonialism, Christopher Columbus.
Which was
like
perfect.
when she
Just
spouted that
perfect.
in the theater, I completely lost my
You
shit.
did.
I was just like, are you fucking kidding? That's literally the best writing that ever could happen.
It was genius.
Yeah, this has a lot of funny, as Bryce has already mentioned, mostly from the side characters. Some of the acting is not the greatest, and there are bit parts by some Canadian legends like Adam Beach and Colin Mockery, as well as Simon Baker, who shows his acting chops in this.
Simon Baker's great.
As his arch nemesis come hero partner. I laughed a lot in this film. This really is a self-deprecating / redemption film. The comedy lands, the inside colonialism jokes super land, but this does what a lot of comedies do. They fill in comedy parts with either too much story or, in this case, makes hard turns in the story. And I'm guessing from the feel of the film, the hard turns are because of editing reasons alone. Because I think it was a little bloated, and then they just took out some of the scenes that kind of didn't help it. It seemed too choppy. As much as I really liked this and did my fair share of falling in love with Cody Lightning and his naked body, it gets a cherry on top for his desperation to find work, that he has to take bottom gigs in gay porn to get by.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's not enough to make me love this. So this movie is a man, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was
I liked
very
it a
good.
lot. And I
Very
think
good.
everybody should see this movie. It's fun.
funny.
It's funny. There is a significant percentage of indigenous actors in this,
Yep.
which is always important.
And they're all so good.
And they're all so good. Like,
Yeah.
holy mother of God, Baker was amazing in this.
he was.
He was brilliant.
Plus, we get an Adam Beach sighting, which is always
barely.
You
welcome.
just never get enough Adam Beach. All right, Mur, what do you think of your once proud heritage?
My once proud. Well, I was never proud of it, but
Well, you should be.
Should be.
no, because you haven't met my relatives. I'm sorry, but you haven't met them.
But I know there's some pretty amazing indigenous people.
As is mentioned before, I have not seen Smoke Signals, despite the fact that I am 1/16 Métis on my dad's side. Although I haven't really done anything with that family since I was about 8 years old. Since he basically left us, and basically he was an asshole. So it didn't really make me want to explore my heritage very much.
Wait, is your dad Cody Lightning?
No.
Oh, okay.
He makes Cody Lightning look like a saint.
Okay.
But yeah, so I hadn't seen the first one. I did see part of this one because it did play at one of our festivals, and I was in the booth and I watched a good chunk of at least the start of it and the middle of it. It was basically Smoke Signals 2, and the guy the pawn shop owner was basically a Russian mobster of some kind, who basically said, well, I'll only give you money if you get all the original cast, which of course they're all pissed off at him, so they don't. To me, it was like 90 minutes of watching a First Nations / Aboriginal fat and hairy Zach Snuffleupagus. Because that's who he reminded me of. The whole fucking movie, I thought, it's the guy from The Hangover. Guarantee you, it's like that character, except he's native. Like, it was the same character. And yeah, he was naked for half the movie, and there was like a few scenes with like feces, which made me uncomfortable.
That was awesome.
But yeah, it had some funny moments, and it brought back one vivid memory of mine from my upbringing.
Oh, when you were a bottom in porn.
No, but when I was a little tyke and I was around a lot of, Métis people, was a swear word, which I heard almost every day from my grandmother, my dad, all of his siblings, some of my cousins. That term was takai, which is a swear word. I won't tell you what it means, but basically it's the same thing as it probably you think it means in French. But yeah, I heard that and I'm like, hey, I remember that word. Yeah, it had some funny moments, but it had some just god-awful moments too. And yeah, I couldn't stop thinking this was just Zach Galifianakis. And I don't like him at all. So that didn't make me appreciate it anymore.
I like Zach Galifianakis.
I do not. But I did like his manager. My
also
favorite
like
line
Cody
of the
Lightning.
whole movie. So I just got my heritage results back. Turns out I'm white. Again, I lost my shit when she said that. I'm like, oh my God. And the fact that they had one of his friends pretend to be Adam Beach because they basically broke in and stole the wig because I guess you can't get a wig anywhere else.
Well, I love the fact that it's in Adam Beach's house under alarm
it's in a
systems.
display
Like
case.
it's like this wig is.
Yet the door is
so
unlocked.
Is so important.
So the door's unlocked to his house, but they got alarms on his wig. Anyway, yeah, so they had a fake Adam Beach, and then he just shows up in like a dream sequence.
Yes.
That wig.
And then Gary Farmer, who I don't think he really is, but if he was a sheriff the last 20 years, I don't know if he really was, but
He was in this movie.
yeah, it wasn't the movie, but I don't know if he actually was, but because I haven't seen him in a long time. But yeah, I always liked him too. So yeah, had some funny parts, but had some parts I really didn't like. Maybe it would have helped if I'd seen the original. But yeah, again, Cody Lightning, the guy, I don't know if it's his real name or his stage name, whatever. He was in the original for like 3 minutes because they kept showing the same clip over and over again. Him running after a pickup truck that's driving away. That's the only clip they showed from the movie. Is that the only clip he was in? And for that, he made a career over 30 years.
Yeah.
Teaching little kids how to act and then
Because everybody knew Hey Viktor.
Not everybody. Maybe in his town they did.
It was one of the most important scenes in the movie.
Yeah, sure. Anyway. I can't. It's barely a meh. It was okay, but it was so funny in parts, but it wasn't good enough.
That's kind of how we all felt. It was meh.
I know.
If that means.
Oh yeah, where is that? Right there. Any more unpacking to do?
Yeah, I think people should see this movie. It's funny. There's a lot of funny. I would say it's hard for me to see a comedy and love it. There's not very many comedies I really love.
Not too many.
But there's a lot of, black comedies that I kind of appreciate, and I like really twisted.
You like darker
comedies.
stuff.
I like super dark comedies.
Yeah.
So with this one, I had a lot of darkness. Yeah. But yeah. So they just can't seem to put together. They can't seem to put comedies fully together.
It's so weird how they start off so strong and then just like.
No, there are very few that are funny
and it's
from
like,
start to finish.
it's like, where did the jokes go?
Well, not only the jokes, but I think what they try and do is they try and take the jokes and then try and make a bigger story than it needs to be.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Am I right or am I right?
Yeah,
sure.
Because, at least comedies now, I don't know, comedies back in the day.
Well, yeah, I prefer older comedies personally. I watch older movies that I've seen 100 times and I still laugh when I watch them again.
100 times.
That's right. I've seen some movies over 100 times and they always make
100 times.
100 times.
pretty much all of John Candy's library. I've seen at least that much.
Really?
Still enjoy it.
I usually watch a movie once, and then if the movie's lucky, I watch it a second time.
Yes.
And I'm giving the movie.
If it happens to be on TV when I'm flipping channels, I will stop and watch it if I like.
I got movies like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
What ones have you seen 100 times?
Never watched anything 100 times, but there's movies that I stop and watch.
I have movies I've watched 100 times.
Mhm.
Probably I could list two.
I can list zero.
Three. I can list three. So only three that I've seen over 100 times.
There's
Number one,
Do they involve
there's no
zombies?
way I've seen
one of
anything
them does.
100 times.
Dawn of the Dead I've watched. I used to get in grade 11 and 12 every day at lunch. I would smoke weed and watch Dawn of the Dead and eat Alphagetti and popcorn. That was my meal every single day.
Okay.
I was a pretty boring kid by the sounds of things. And then I
watched Dawn of the Dead probably about 10 times, maybe.
Okay, still 10's pretty good. Because that's pretty good for you.
Yeah.
And I saw Star Wars, the original Star Wars, in theaters every day that it played at the cinema.
Really?
Where I lived.
Wow.
Every day I saw
Like the whole
it.
summer?
The whole summer. I watched it every day.
I've probably seen it 7 or 8 times.
See,
Yep.
you're older than me, so I didn't see the original.
Yeah, when it came out, I saw it.
I
in the
was
cinema.
7. So
Yeah. And the last one was The Exorcist, because it's just so
course.
good.
I've seen it probably
you go.
about 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
I've now seen it twice.
Twice, not
Didn't like
enough.
it either time.
What are you talking about? All right, well, I guess that's
Anyway,
enough of
all
talking
right,
about Hey
that's enough
Viktor.
of that.
Hey, Viktor.
Hey, Viktor. Oh, the Murr. This is not looking happy. Murray usually
Yeah,
brings
you know
the
what?
joy.
No,
What?
not doing
You're
that.
playing different music?
Can't do it.
What?
That's happy music, and I'm full of rage.
Oh, well, put some rage music on.
I don't have rage music.
Borrow
That's
my
fine.
rage music.
That's fine.
You can have my rage music. Put the Amazing Merman
last
music on.
week we talked about our experience at the VIP cinema,
Yes,
which these two of us didn't enjoy.
that's
It was fine.
This week is the opposite of that.
what?
Lack of customer service.
Lack of customer service.
On Thursday, I was supposed to join Jim at the local downtown Cineplex for the Anthony Hopkins film.
Yes.
The start time was 7 p.m. I finished work at 7 p.m. By the time I got there, found parking, and bought my ticket at the stupid kiosk, it was 7:20. But considering there are 15 minutes of trailers and commercials, I figured I had nothing to worry about.
You didn't have nothing to worry about.
Well, thanks to Cineplex Odeon's new policies of closing down early most nights and not even being open some others, the concession was completely shut down.
What?
These idiots were standing there, but they wouldn't even sell me a bottle of water. Like, they had the soda machine was there. They could have given me something, but nothing. Couldn't give me anything. So after I got pissed off at that, I went to find the theater, which turned out to be the theater that was outside of the venue.
Yes, it's true.
And because there's nobody manning the gate, I could have just walked in for
and
free.
not paid your ticket.
Yeah. So, yet I was still allowed to buy a ticket from that stupid kiosk, even though everything else was shut down.
Oh, man.
So they didn't shut down the kiosk. They should have allowed you to buy the ticket, but you couldn't actually buy anything else. I should just smuggle my own food in.
You should have.
And like I said, ironically, the theater the movie was playing in was outside the venue, so I could have walked in for free. Then I couldn't find Jim. In
That's
a sea
right.
of heads in a pitch dark theater, they didn't even have lights for the steps that run down. Run down
Murder
the whole
steps?
place.
You're saying they're murder steps.
Yeah, they had no, because it was an older cinema. They didn't have running lights. They didn't have lights above. It was pitch dark. So after 15 minutes of trying to find Jim and trying to watch the movie, I got pissed off and left. So $14 wasted. I understand times are tough and people don't go to movies anymore. And the downtown cinema is being bulldozed in 2 months. Still, it doesn't excuse treating your customers like crap. Landmark doesn't do that. They have movies starting after 9 p.m. and keep the concession open at least 30 minutes after the movie is started.
Yes.
So from now on, Landmark will be getting all of my business. Unless a movie is playing at my theater down the street on a Tuesday afternoon.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
anywhere close to Murray's. Holy crap! That punches the ticket, takes the button, does a something.
They
Something
pissed me
about
off.
tea in China?
They pissed me off.
That's literally the best rage. We should change our podcast name to Murray's Film Rage.
Made me uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but it's the truth.
He was pretty
And
mad.
I may have actually enjoyed that movie if I had actually been able to see it.
Yeah. So the my rage doesn't come close to Murray's, but I can tell you it's about the same cinema. But it wasn't because of anything that happened to Murray. Although I'm sad that he didn't get to join me, and I was mad at myself for not properly telling him where I was sitting. But what happened was I went to go sit in my seats, and when I had bought my ticket, I had picked the very last row that I could buy the ticket on. And when I went to go sit, there was two ladies sitting beside each other and in my seat. Now,
They were actually in your seat?
well, so I thought
they
they
were
were
just next
sitting
to
in.
you.
I thought they were sitting in my seat. So I said, I think you might be sitting in my seat, because when I bought my ticket, it actually was at the end of the row. So I'm like, okay, that's
It was
my
the
row.
aisle, right.
But what it was they had blocked out the handicapped
Right.
attendant
Right.
seat. So they came and bought their tickets after the fact, and they bought the handicap attendant seats.
Oh.
But there was like those two people sitting, and then me, and then like 5 more people sitting. So I would have had to get this one lady who was, had mobility issues, get them to get up and cross over to them. And I'm just thinking to myself, why would you buy those? Because where I ended up sitting, there was a whole row of seats that were open.
Yeah, no,
And
there's,
so
there's
they
handicap
decided
seating in
to
the middle.
sit right beside me when there's like probably 25 other seats they could have sat in.
It wasn't full.
So yeah, anyway, I felt bad because I'm like, I think you're sitting in my seat. And then on top of that, I wasn't about to go, first off, get them to get up and then go sit right beside them when there's like hundreds of seats in the cinema that I could have sat in. So I just said, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll just sit over somewhere else. So that was my rage.
That was it. That's all you
Yeah,
had.
it was like people that go to the movie theater that, should be wiser about where they sit.
Well,
Like if there's we've had times where we go to the cinema where it's like there's 3 of us in the cinema and
there's
someone
people
bought
sitting right
someone
behind-
bought
right
the
beside
fucking
us.
seat right beside me. And I'm
beside
like,
us or
are
right in
you
front of
kidding
us."
me? Why did you got to see who was there? Why would you buy your seat right beside me?
yeah. That ticks me off too.
Yeah.
I prefer just to. I just move. Anyway, that's all you got. All right.
it.
Let's say you, Bryce.
Oh, it's my turn?
It's your turn.
We're
It's
just
your
looking
music.
we're just looking for where Bryce's rage went.
I think his dog ate it. He's eating everything else around here.
My rage is that the new Marky Mark movie opened this weekend everywhere, and I didn't get to see it. It had a poopy dog in it, and it looked like it was going to be heartwarming.
You wanted to see Marky Mark?
And
What?
Yeah, Arthur the King. It came out everywhere.
What?
Apparently.
We didn't get it?
We didn't get it. So I didn't get to see the poopy dog movie
Well.
with Marky Mark and Simulu.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah,
Because Marky Mark's a big draw.
Usually.
yeah.
Was the dog a conversion dog?
No.
Oh, you sure about that?
Yeah, no, this wasn't it. Well, I mean, it's a Marky Mark movie, so there's probably going to be, some conversion adjacent content, but it's still.
Was the dog hearing voices from God?
No,
Maybe.
the dog was just a cool dog that was, he was a stray, and he ran the whatever it is, the
Boston
the
Marathon?
decathlon,
Isn't
the heptathlon, the one where you're like biking and triathlon.
Triathlon?
That's it.
Oh,
that.
Three things.
The
Mr.
athlons.
Sports?
One of the
Athlon.
athlons.
Anyways, they're in some foreign country. I don't know what, but I didn't get to watch the movie, so I'm not. I'm bummed.
You know what?
Had a cute poopy dog in it.
What?
I love poopy dogs.
Yeah. So
Apparently.
who doesn't? Well, I won't say
I
that,
don't.
but still, it had Marky Mark in it. Had
There
your
you
two
go.
least favorite actors.
Well, that's true. It did
Marky
have-
and Mark.
if something was going to wreck it, it was going to be Marky Mark. But, it might have been okay. But I'll never know because, it didn't come out.
Well,
Then
you'll just have to buy it.
It's more that we keep on having movies that just aren't coming out here when they're coming out anywhere. And it doesn't matter if it's that or some other stupid movie that I don't want to see
Or
at
a good
all.
movie.
Or a good movie. It's just the fact that I wish they all would come out because it's not like there's like a landslide of films coming out. They've got so many freaking cinemas playing the same garbage over and over again. And it's the same rage as I've had before, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So basically, what you're saying is, of all the rages this week, yours was the worst. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know. I thought yours was ridiculous, and I was uncomfortable with
I scared you a little.
with Murray. So,
Murray's Murman Minute made Bryce uncomfortable.
yeah. So I don't.
Still valid.
I don't. Yeah. I don't want to talk about that
Okay,
anymore.
then.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
All right. We haven't had the list for a while. So, Murray, have you found us a challenge?
I guess so.
What do you
Apparently, either I was away or I wasn't paying attention, which could be either one.
Could be one of those two
But
things.
apparently, Riz Ahmed managed to get on their mesmerizing list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
How
don't-
could he not be?
I don't remember when that happened. But anyway.
I don't know.
So, yeah, the rest of them, like.
He's been on
this
my
is
mesmerizing list since the first time I saw him.
I'm down to a half a page of mesmerizings.
Okay.
So, there's not a whole lot of choice anymore.
Okay. Oh, something happened.
So, I had two choices with Riz Ahmed.
Nice.
One is your favorite Star Wars movie.
What?
But I think I'm going to go with the other one.
Oh.
Because it has the only one with the guy who, for some reason, is still mesmerizing, and I can't find anybody else for him to face off with. So we got Riz Ahmed and Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh.
Little movie called Sisters Brothers.
Oh yeah. I don't know that. Yeah, he's got maybe.
No, they're both in it.
I know they're
checked,
both in
and
it.
they're like right beside each other on the IMDb. So
Okay. Well, we'll see.
I'm sure one of them has more screen time than somebody else. But,
Yeah, well, Joaquin
and if that one
Phoenix
doesn't
has a lot
qualify,
more.
then we'll go with the other one, which
Sorry, what's it called?
Sisters Brothers.
Sisters Brothers.
It's a western.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Western,
John, what's
yeah.
his name in it?
Nice.
Anyway, so there.
All right.
Sweet.
That's all you got?
Well, we'll just maybe remind everybody who's listening to us. If you don't, what's that beeping noise?
Got me. I don't have any technology.
There's like boing, 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 boing. For those of you who are listening to us, if you've never heard our podcast before, go to our website, filmrageyyc.com, and check out our page called The Lists. There is 5 lists, and so we've been trying to take people off our mesmerizing list.
Sorry, I
because-
can't recognize music right now. Please try again in a bit.
Okay.
There you go. That's what happens when you let computers take over the world.
That's right. Siri, I think, came on and was going to take
She
over
did.
the planet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice.
So anyway, you were saying. So yeah, we have lists. Go onto the website.
Yep. Check it out.
There you go.
Last time on Rage or Dare, Jim was lucky enough to pull another film from Bryce's bag of musical rom-coms with his previously despised rage crush, Matthew McConaughey. Who knew he was in so many rom-coms, huh? This week, the boys can choose to... Oh, what's this? They can choose to Casey, or even Casey. Yes, in your face, sweet, succulent Casey. Man, that feels good. Okay, let's check in with Jim and see what happens when you put the apparent king of rom-coms in what is possibly the biggest action rom-com since... Well, is that even a thing? Of course it is! Has everyone forgotten about Romancing the Stone? Oh well, I'm sure this McConaughey masterpiece is solid, solid gold.
I'm romancing the stone. Never leave your poor heart alone.
Going
every
gets
night
tough.
and every day.
Tough get
Gonna
going.
love the hurting
I don't even know what's
away.
happening right now.
It's Eddie Grant.
I'm singing the song from Jewel of the Nile. I don't know
I
what
know.
the hell he's singing.
He's singing-
Romancing the Stone. Eddie Grant
Romancing
from
the
Romancing the
Stone.
Stone.
I don't know that one.
That's the
Well,
original
that's
one.
not. Like he said, Romancing the Stone. He didn't say the sequel, Jewel of the Nile.
It's basically the same movie.
He's not wrong there, Bryce.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but they're not the same movie.
Oh, you know what's
That's
not
why I
the
said
right.
basically.
You know
One's
what's not
Eddie
the.
Grant, one's Billy Ocean.
Who the hell's Eddie
Do you,
Grant?
do you know?
Gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.
So that's the one
and
hit he
then
had?
we'll take it higher.
That's right.
Oh, we're
So
gonna
he's a
rock
one-hit wonder.
down to
All right then.
Electric
Well, he's obviously
Avenue.
2 hits because he sang the.
I'm romancing
Funny
the
enough,
stone.
yet I've never heard of that one.
Where-
Let's say.
do you not remember seeing Romancing the Stone? Because that's one of your favorite movies, I thought. I thought you were a huge Romancing the Stone fan. Oh, I'm surprised. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Fool's Gold. You know when you see an amazing film and come out feeling energized and full of life, and you say out loud, "Man, these actors are at the top of their game."
Yes.
Well, in this case, I came out feeling icky. And like part of me had died.
Yeah.
And I said, these actors are at the bottom of their game.
Yes, they are.
I don't think I've ever actually said that after seeing a movie before. I don't think I've ever walked out of the movie and said, these actors are at the bottom of their
They've
game.
never been worse.
Never been worse. So, just so you know, every single person in this movie is using an accent of a country or location that they're not from.
Yes.
And none of them sound any good. So, on top of their acting chops being at the bottom of everybody's game, apparently so was their fake accents.
So good.
Kevin Hart, yes, that Kevin
Kevin
Hart.
Hart was in this?
Yes, is a gang boss. Matty Mac was full on the most annoying he ever has been. And Kate Hudson is completely repulsive. How anybody could watch this and cast her in anything is beyond me. And I will say this and be on the record.
She's terrible.
Not just in this, but in every single movie she's in, she is repulsive.
She's
But is she on the list?
Not yet. But on a good side, Matty Mac keeps his shirt off for most of the movie. So there's that. This is basically a rom-com that isn't funny. So no com. And then not romantic. So no rom.
rom-com sans the com and the rom.
But what is left is a movie
yes.
where 2 repulsive people try to get a divorce and then fall in love again
Oh, that's heartwarming.
as they search for treasure. But the real treasure
yes.
is that their love was real. And by real, I mean really, really, really unbelievable and annoying and rage-inducing. This was so completely awful.
It was fitting that it was the last film in
It
my
was
bag.
the last thing in your bag, so it knew it had to be pretty good. But, you know, I remember seeing this in theaters when it first came out, and I remember walking out of the movie, and I never said it. But now that I'm thinking back when I did see it, I was thinking in my mind, I just didn't say it.
Yes.
Everyone in this movie is at the bottom of their game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, and on top of that, the soundtrack was awful. They had maybe one Bob Marley song in it, and then the rest of it was just music that was annoying. So, I'm putting this out there. Just go ahead and ask me one thing about this movie. I'm just dying to tell you terrible levels of terror in this. Just ask me anything about it.
How was the Donald? Wasn't he in it?
The Donald was absolutely repulsive. He was at the absolute bottom of his
That's too
game
bad.
because he's putting on a terrible British accent, and it was so inconsistent.
Well, he is
it was
kinda
like
British.
he's not British. He's Canadian.
Yeah, but he's kind of British too.
No, he's not any British. He's 100% Canadian, and he has a 100% Donald Sutherland accent that is Canadian, probably from Scarborough. So yeah. So he was terrible. What else? Give me something else. Just tell me. I just want
I don't know.
anything. Ask me a question about this movie that you may not know.
I don't know anything about this movie.
I don't know.
Come on, just ask me one thing. That's all I'm looking for. Yeah, did you know that
Were there a lot of laughs in it?
there was 0 laughs? It was terrible.
But it's a comedy.
There was no comedy and there was no romance.
In fact, a lot of people would say that's not even a rom-com. It's more of an action-adventure comedy.
Yeah, you know what?
How was the action
The
in
action was actually not too bad.
it? There you go.
But you can't make a movie with just action. Which this didn't have
that's
just
not
action. If
true.
it just had just action.
John Wick was just action.
Yeah, that's true. You could, but in
The
that
first
Mad Max Fury Road was just action.
Yeah, that was pretty
I
action.
think Blade 2 that
But
was
not
just
if you're
action?
trying to call it a rom-com. Yeah, this was by far the most painful, and just so everybody knows, I absolutely love Matthew McConaughey now.
Hey.
I love him.
All right.
All right. I love the man now, but back when he was a rom-com king, this is by far the worst thing I've ever seen of him in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
You're welcome.
after all that awful, I can't figure out why it was called Fool's Gold. Was it because
there
the
any
gold
gold?
was real, or was it because
They're fools
this
for being in
old
it?
fool was hoping to get gold from this movie, but all I got was Fool's Gold from this movie? Is that why it was called Fool's Gold? Because it's kind of fooling you. You think this movie's going to be solid gold, but really it was solid poop
Solid poop.
Poopy.
at the bottom of everybody's game.
It was
Huh.
poopy.
Is your poop, and at the end of your bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was really bad.
I know.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at what we got in Casey's bag for next week. Something tells me this is going to be an awful remake. What do you think?
It's about 99%
Pretty sure they're all
on
awful.
that. What is it?
Oh!
Is it something exciting?
It's maybe something that we may not rage off, but I'm not going to say that for sure.
All right.
1998's Godzilla!
Godzilla.
God, 98. Was that the Matthew Broderick
That's
one?
the Matthew Broderick one, I
The
believe.
one that almost ruined the franchise?
Yes.
Oh, the one where they went to Madison Square Garden. and
Yeah,
hung
they
out.
planted eggs.
Yeah, and they had dinosaurs
They had
inside
good-
Madison
No,
Square
they
And
Garden.
weren't
they-
dinosaurs. They were Godzilla.
And they,
They were
went on
whatever,
the ice
mini-
and they
mini
slipped
ones
and slided. And yeah, it was so
Yes.
good. It was adorable. There was little baby Godzillas.
Yeah, baby Godzilla.
Can you argue with baby Godzillas? This is gonna be great. I love baby Godzillas.
This may be a Mondo, actually.
It might be. Plus,
This may be the first time Casey gets it wrong.
Plus, I think it's got like Achilles' Last Stand or something in the soundtrack for Led Zeppelin.
You know what? This could be the best Godzilla movie. I don't know what Casey's talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm gonna put it up on the old big screen TV. I'm gonna crank it, and I'm gonna just let this movie wash over me. I remember not loving it,
Yeah, I kind of remember that too.
but I think I might have just not been in a good frame of mind at the time.
Maybe you just hadn't seen enough Godzilla yet.
You know where I watched it?
Where?
I remember where I watched it. I
No
don't
way.
know why.
I saw it in a theater.
And it was,
Sure.
it's it's not like a special cinema or anything, but I watched it at West Hills.
Nice. Which is where we're watching a lot of our movies coming
Back
this
when
Monday.
West Hills had kind of a bowl thing, then now they've got stadium seating.
Yeah,
Back
yeah.
then they didn't have stadium seating.
You
Which
know
I'm
what?
still trying to figure out how they did that, because how do you go from that little weird bowl, but it was a very high ceiling, I guess, and then all of a sudden now you got
You know
stadium
what?
seating.
We've had a lot of discussion on this podcast lately of either A, magic, B, space magic, or magical Negroes.
So you think
I always think
you
it was
probably just
cinema
magic, cinema magic?
It was cinema magic.
Okay, I can buy that.
Yeah,
Sure.
that makes sense.
Okay.
All
then.
right.
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Plus, I think you actually do get a scene with an old guy going Godzilla.
Nice.
Godzilla.
Sure.
I'm almost positive.
You get a,
You
get
know
a
what?
French
This is
guy
gonna be
too.
great.
If we don't,
Yeah,
now-
isn't John Reno in it?
Is that who it is?
Jean Reno? I think
I thought
is
it was
in
Renault.
this.
Whatever.
I love John Reno.
Who doesn't?
The professional man.
Yeah.
The professional.
Leon.
Yeah.
Has he done anything
Leon?
else?
He's done millions of things.
With Natalie Portman. That was like her big
He
breakthrough
was like
role.
8 years old.
And she was awesome.
She was Oscar winning if it was asking me.
She was spectacular.
Nice.
Now
All right.
I'm going to watch The Professional too now.
Do that.
You know what? It's going to be a Jean Reno weekend.
I'm loading up on John Reno because lately he's not been making good stuff.
No, he's not.
But man, he used to.
He made Godzilla.
Like Godzilla from
1998.
1998.
Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks, Extended Film Rage family. You can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey, the nerdy photographer and the god of rage, for the voice of Rage or Dare. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, or send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare us to see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 don't make us a rage. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.